We will do few activities on a CloudberryDB, starting up with creating the demo cluster, followed by doing some PostgreSQL activities. So I'm going to run all the commands as a GP admin user. I have logged in as a GP admin user. Then what I need to do, I need to switch to CloudberryDB folder and then set up the environment and then run the command create demo cluster. So what it is doing is it is creating a demo cluster, and these are the details. Cluster setup has been completed successfully. Let us try to understand the log for the few important things. Starting with the port number and the coordinated data directory. Here it has a primary port which you can consider as a primary endpoint, and a standby port which you can consider as a standby endpoint. And you have segment ports which are nothing but the segments that needs your distributed databases. You have 3 segments for primary and 3 segments for the standby. Let's assume 7002 is the segment 1 port and 7005 is the segment 1's standby port, and 7003 and 4 are second and third nodes, 6 and 7 are second and third standby servers. We'll understand how we log into these segments and all that stuff later. You can see it here. This is a mirrored demo of the Cloudberry database system. We will create a cluster with 3 primary and 3 mirror nodes. That means 3 standby nodes. Total 6 segment nodes. And these 6 segment nodes will have 1 primary port and 1 standby port. You will understand more. You can understand more about it here. You can understand the terms. This is the architecture, and this is your master and standby, and you have segments. I'll leave this link in the description so you can go and check the description. I'll come back here. Once it is completed, we can check the status with the gp state command. So I'll come here, I'll do gp state -c. So it shows a summary of the entire cluster. It has a primary and standbys. So 2, 3, 4 are the primary nodes, 5, 6, 7 are the standby nodes and their ports. Your 7000 is the coordinator endpoint, primary coordinator endpoint, and 7002 is the standby coordinator endpoint. So what I'll do, I'll try to connect to 7000, my primary endpoint, -d Postgres, enter. So I have now successfully connected to my CloudberryDB. So I'll do select version. It's version 14.4, which is Cloudberry's default version, and the Cloudberry's kernel version is 1.6. You have some you have few dictionary views. They are GP star. So these are all the dictionary views that will have information about your Cloudberry segments, mirrors, primary nodes, and all that stuff. Now what I'll do, we'll create a we'll create one table, and then we'll see how a data is replicated across the nodes or across the segments. So what I'll do, I'll create a table, let's say test id int, let's say name, I'll put text, and created at I'll put timestamp, which is the default. And here what I need to do is I need to give the distribution key, distributed by id. This is like a partition. Right, what I'll do now, insert into test of id comma name values 1 comma let us say a, and 2 comma b, let's say 3 comma c. I'm going to run this, select star from test. I could see the data A, B, and C. Since I've logged into coordinator node, I could see the entire data. But when I log into the segment nodes, I could see only the data that is registered with the segment table. So let's see that. 7001 is again the standby node. So instead of 7001, I'll put 7002, which is one of my primary segment nodes, and I'll put enter. So what it says, I cannot directly connect it to my segment nodes. I should use something like utility mode. So what I'll do something like this, pg options -c gp role equals to utility. This is how you enter the utility mode. And then psql -p 7002 -d your database. Select star from test. So I could see 2 records here. The first is missing. Let me check where that first has gone. I log into 3. Yeah, first came here. I'll try to log into one of my standby nodes. Let's check what it does. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is one of the standby node. Enter. So what it says, you cannot log into your standby node. The database system is in recovery mode. So by default, the hot standby is off in Cloudberry. So what I need to do is I need to enable the hot standby, and then only I can enter. For that, what I'll do, I need to get the data directory of 7005 port. 7005 is here, and its data directory is this. So I'll go to here, postgresql.conf, hot standby, make it on. I need to restart. So what I need to do is gp stop -r will restart the cluster. It's restarted successfully. Let me check again. So it's 7005. I could log in and then run the command select star from test. This is my standby and I got my data. I'll try to delete. It should not work because it is a replica machine. Yeah, cannot execute delete in a read-only transaction. So this is how the data is distributed automatically in your Cloudberry distributed databases system. I'll also do one more activity. I'll try to log into my coordinator node again, 7000-D, my database. I'll create a user, create user test values, with password test. I've created a user. Now I'll try to log into the database with that user test. It will not allow because by default your HBA is restricted to the super user or the default user. So what I need to do here again, I need to modify the value for the coordinator host. So what is the coordinator location? I'll get that information here. Yeah, this is the coordinator location. Open the configuration file, HBA file, and then add an entry. Local all, let's say I'll put trust. Save. Now I need to reload my configuration file in CloudberryDB. Reloading is nothing but gpstop-u. This is how you reload your configuration file. Now let me try to connect to the database with test user. Yep, I have connected. I'll try to do select star from test. It should not allow, yeah, because the table is created by the other user. That's it for this video. In this video we have covered how do we set up a CloudberryDB cluster and log into a specific node and log into a coordinator node and create table and get the information from logging into specific nodes. And we have also learned creating a user and logging into your database cluster with the newly created user. We learned how to stop, start and restart the CloudberryDB cluster, along with how to reload a PostgreSQL configuration file. We'll continue learning Cloudberry more in future videos. Thank you.